I guess what maybe drove you into wanting to become an NFL newsbreaker and insider in the first place?
Well, it's a great question, Ben. And what I would say is it wasn't like I set out to become an NFL insider. When I got hired after my internship in Seattle, in Denver, I took that job in part because part of it, as a general assignment reporter, was covering the Denver Broncos. And I thought, wow, I get to cover an NFL team. This is so great. But I also really wanted to cover baseball. And at the time, Colorado was bidding for a Major League Baseball franchise, and it landed the Colorado Rockies. And I interviewed to become the beat writer for that particular newspaper. And I like to laugh and tell the story sometimes where I was working for the Rocky Mountain News, and I really wanted to be a baseball beat writer. And there was a guy on my block who also wanted that job. He was a general assignment reporter for the Rocky Mountain News. We both interviewed, and neither one of us got that job. We both were rejected. We both were distraught, disappointed, very unhappy about the fact that we were bypassed for this job, as many people are when they try to get jobs. And that particular guy left the Rocky Mountain News to go write for the LA Times, where he won a Pulitzer Prize, and then went on to write the books with Andre Agassi and Phil Knight called Shoe Dog, and Prince Harry's memoir Spare. His name is J.R. Moringer, friend of mine, and JR didn't get the Colorado Rockies beat writing job, and it launched him into this prolific writing career that he's put together. I was told, no, we're not going to hire you as the Rockies beat writer. We're going to have you stay on the NFL beat covering the Broncos. So I was forced, Ben, to stay covering football as opposed to baseball. And I guess I should send the Rocky Mountain News a huge thank you note that the newspaper prevented me from chasing my dreams, because had it allowed me to do what I wanted to do, I would have been a baseball beat writer, not a football reporter. And it's hard to imagine that in this world that anybody would go to cover baseball ahead of football, with the popularity of the sport being what it is today. And so, again, very fortunate. So I didn't really pick football so much as football picked me. It was really dumb luck. I aspired to do something different. I kind of got stuck covering the football team. And I like to tell people all the time, I've said it over and over, I got my undergraduate degree from Michigan. I got my master's from Northwestern. And I got my graduate degree from the Denver Broncos, because I got to cover that team for 16 years. And the NFL then was a lot more personal than it is today, because I'd be at training camp with these guys for 3 weeks. We'd be eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner together. I'd see them coming off the practice field, going into the dorms to eat, or the dining room to eat, checking into their dorms. Like, you're around them all summer. And I think that beat writers today are shielded a lot more, and they don't have the access that I had back in the day. And so that access allowed me to understand what it was like to cover a team, to deal with individuals, to find out what you could and couldn't do, to find out what was acceptable and what wasn't. And that was a 16-year education, getting your graduate degree from Denver Broncos University. That's what it really was. While I also dabbled in covering the NFL and watching the way that other people did it. So I feel very fortunate, very blessed to have covered that team, to be in that area, to work for the Rocky Mountain News and then the Denver Post. It was great training for me. And there are a lot of ways to go try and chase your dreams, particularly if you want to be in media. But that one was what worked for me. And, I didn't grow up wanting to become a football writer like many people do. I didn't set out to do it. It just sort of happened along. It was an accident that happened along the way, like a lot of this.
Yeah. First of all, like I'm so jealous that you had that kind of access in the 90s, because I mean, like you said, we are a lot more shielded. The access is much more limited. So landscape, as you said, is so different. But go ahead.
No, we're talking about the access, and you're jealous, and it's not the same. And I agree. And as you're talking about that, the first thing that pops to my mind is, like, I'm a single guy living in Denver, so I don't have a wife to go home to. I don't have kids to go home to. So literally, I would stay in the building late at night,
Mm,
and I would read about the NFL. I'd have all kinds of clippings and research, and I just stay there doing all kinds of research. And there would be coaches that you'd bump into late. And
mm,
the Broncos owner, Pat Bolin, was always in the building late. So a lot of times I go up to his office and we
mm.
talk for a little bit, and he was so gracious with his time and the way he treated me. And so, like I said, I'm in that building, the Broncos complex, and I mean in the building, not in some distant media room the way they have it set
Yeah,
up today. I'm in the
yeah.
building,
Mm,
right, from 7:38 in the morning till 9 at night every single day. And so that was my home. I didn't have anything else.
mm.
That was my home. And they took me in and they were very gracious to me. And I was able to learn a lot just being in that building. And it was a very long, slow process, but you see how it pays off over time with some of the relationships that you build and some of the people you get to know and the things you get to see are acceptable and unacceptable.
Now, Adam, is there a part of you that still wants to cover baseball? Like, is that something you
No,
tried,
no, 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 no,
oh
no.
no,
Man,
okay,
no, we know
you're
that
good.
dream has been dashed. It was
Yeah,
it was
okay.
stomped
Just
on
making
back in the
sure.
early 1990s,
Okay.
and that fire has never been reignited. And no, I'm not interested in covering baseball. Now, I will say that the day, if I'm ever going to become an insider in another sport at some point in my life, you know what would interest me?
Basketball? Basketball?
Well, I like that a lot.
Because
I
I know
like
you've
that.
covered some
Yeah.
basketball in the
I
past.
no, but Woj has got that covered pretty good. I'm not going to step
Yeah.
on his ground.
That's true.
I wouldn't mind becoming a golf insider.
Why is that?
Well, I love watching it. It's like one of my hobbies is you know I'm in a golf fantasy league, and you play daily lineups with golf. For a few dollars, literally, I mean $3 lineups with my buddies. Like on DraftKings or FanDuel, and I love that. And so I don't know, over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, I've gotten into the point where literally I will watch entire golf matches from Thursday to Sunday, and I watch the golfer that we pick or the golfers that we have in our lineups. I will watch every shot that they hit all weekend long.
Wow.
And so, to me, to be a golf insider, like in this day and age when more and more people are playing fantasy, I think that's kind of a cool thing. Like that would interest me,
Mm,
but I'm busy right now.
yeah. No, I totally understand that.
The football season is about to begin. So
Yeah, 100%.